Let's move on to the next question now. Social Security. Gloria Hartness from Tampa, Florida asked this question, and it was number 3 nationally in the voting, number 1 in Florida in the voting. What will you do in your position to keep Social Security and Medicare strong? So let's start with Congressman Jolly.
Sure. So listen, I'm actually one of the Republicans who has regularly voted against the budget presented by my side of the aisle because I believe some of the changes it makes for people under 55 are too aggressive. Right? I'm 43 years old. I'm not too young for the government to honor the promise of Social Security and Medicare that's been made to me. The way I approach reforms is this. If you have been in the system for 40 quarters, that's how you vest for Social Security and Medicare, 40 quarters, I think we should treat that as though you're vested, and the rules that apply will apply. No changes. Let's recognize the out-year debt of that obligation because Congress has been so bad at the math over the past 30 years, it has created an out-year debt. Let's put it on the balance sheet and own it as debt. But if you are new to the workforce, you are still going to have the best Social Security and Medicare system in the world, but it might look different than what today's looks like. But if you are currently vested in Social Security or Medicare, let's secure that promise. It has been made. Let's honor it. No changes in benefits. But then recognize the out-year debt. You see, we have $19 trillion in debt if you don't count the out-year obligations. That number goes up threefold if you start to count the out-year obligations. Let's recognize that debt, be responsible about paying it down, and put it on the balance sheet.
Congressman Grayson, as you're answering the same question, especially if you could tell us the difference between your two positions, that would be helpful.
It's like the difference between night and day. What Congressman Jolly just described as a cut in benefits, albeit just for future beneficiaries and not the current beneficiaries. I am completely adamantly opposed to that. In fact, I wrote the No Cuts petition that 100 members of Congress and 3 million American citizens signed against any and every cut in Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid benefits. We haven't had a raise for seniors in 40 years. Seniors deserve a raise. We shouldn't be looking at how we should cut Social Security, cut Medicare, either for current beneficiaries or future beneficiaries. We should be looking about the fact that it's time for a raise. In those 40 years, we've had 3 generations of seniors pass through the system. And in those 40 years, the per capita income of the United States has increased by 97%, while during those 40 years, the purchasing power of Social Security benefits has decreased by 3%. That's why I have proposed the Seniors Deserve a Raise Act, which gives seniors a 2.9% increase they were cheated out of their cost of living adjustment this year. That's why I've proposed the Seniors Have Eyes, Ears, and Teeth Act, which extends Medicare to cover eyes, ears, and teeth and has 147 co-sponsors as we sit here today. And that's why I've introduced the Scrap the Cap Act, which the Social Security Administration has scored and says it would eliminate any problems with financing in Social Security from now until the end of time. These are the things that need to be done. We need to move forward, not backward. We don't need cuts. Cuts are hurting seniors who desperately need these benefits.
If I may.
Yeah, Congressman Jolly, address it whether it's really a night and day difference and whether you're willing to expand Social Security or not.
It is a night and day difference because you know the greatest cut of all would be the collapse of a Social Security system because there wasn't the leadership in Congress to recognize it is failing actuarially. And if we don't change the accounting, Social Security won't be there and Medicare won't be there. It is neglect by members of Congress who refuse to recognize that the greatest driver of our national debt is in programs that have been promised and have been earned. So just because Washington's bad at math doesn't mean we get to look the other way and seniors should pay the penalty. I applaud Alan for working on the CPI issue. I've introduced legislation myself as well that would adjust how cost of living increases are considered for seniors, to recognize that seniors have unique needs when it comes to health care and other issues where the costs are higher than others in the population. We can honor every promise that has been made to our seniors. Nobody is trying to cut it, but I promise you, if we fail to address the long-term impact of the obligations on Social Security and Medicare, the greatest cut of all will happen, and it will happen at the hands of, frankly, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle who refuse to touch the issue.